Myles here at Hyve, and welcome to the third video in this new series that revolves around drills and exercises to help you improve your pistol fundamental. In the previous two videos, we focused on weapons manipulations that we feel a lot of shooters should execute, should do, so that they build more confidence with their firearm. In this video, we're still going to be talking about a particular manipulation that deals primarily with something that happens during the shooting process or cycle. So if you're interested, make sure to stay tuned. Welcome back. When someone shoots a semi-automatic pistol, they squeeze the trigger and the slide is going to go back and forth as it pushes another round in the chamber. Ultimately, as more people shoot and shoot and shoot, they're eventually going to go dry. They're going to run out of ammo and their slide is going to lock back just like this. In a lot of our fundamentals classes, we see students, they are already dry, they already have run out of ammo and they do not realize it. They will be shooting, and then all of a sudden they are pressing the trigger, squeezing it, and that's the only time they realize that they've run out of ammo. It takes them a good amount of time to understand that now's the time to reload. Many of them will think that there's something else wrong with the gun and will not even look at the ejection port here. They won't notice that they've run out of ammo, so they're kind of looking at their trigger and then they finally do this and they realize the slide is locked back. So what we want to focus on in this video is to build that sensitivity to understand when the slide is locked back and when you need to reload. This is extremely important because if you are in a conflict or if you're even in competition and you go dry, you want to make sure that you have ammo ready to go so that you can fire again. This is something that is pretty simple to do, but it does require you to actually shoot ammo. However, before we dive into the live fire segment of this video, let's talk about some dry fire elements first here, or certain steps that you need to know or you should ingrain into your subconscious every time you run out of ammo, where your slide locks back. What I'm referring to is releasing your magazine whenever you go dry. So I go dry here, I feel that my slide is locked back. I do not want to stay here for a long time. I want to be able to release my mag. Now, there's a lot of different ways to release your mag. The main purpose of this is to build that habit that once the slide locks back, you immediately release your mag so that you can reload and get back into action. Shoot targets, shoot threats, whatever it might be. The last thing you want to do, and we see this in classes, they're shooting, and they look at, oh, I'm out of ammo, and then they slowly release their mag. It might even be something like this. They'll bring their gun down, and they're slowly doing this and releasing or getting a new mag. I want you to learn how to immediately just let the mag drop, get it out of there, get your new mag, and then insert it. We're just focusing on the first step, understanding when you've run out of ammo and get that mag or that empty mag out of your pistol. So first things first, you can do this at home. Right now we're at our simulated indoor range, but you don't need to be at the indoor range to do this. And you're gonna have an empty mag. You can keep your pistol with its slide locked back. And what you're going to do is you're just going to get used to releasing the mag any which way you're comfortable or you've learned. So this could be once the slide locks back, this could be shimmying the gun and using your thumb to just let it drop. Now I would just let this drop to the ground. For now, for the sake of the video, I'm just catching it, okay, so I don't have to pick it up every single time. You might have a different technique to release your mag. When the slide locks back, you might use your support hand thumb to drop it down, and you can do that as well. I like to use one hand. There's lots of different techniques, as I mentioned, but you can pick the one that you want to work. The main thing here is that I want you to already know what to do when your slide locks back. So it's back here, let's dry fire this and get used to getting rid of that mag from the pistol because we need to insert a fresh mag with actual rounds in it. So I'd like you to do this dry fire until you're confident and everything is smooth. Now again, I'm going to just let this drop here for this particular rep. You want to think that the slide is locked back and immediately drop the mag. If you want to grab a new mag, that's fine. For our purposes right now, we're taking baby steps, we're just dropping the mag. Because the whole purpose of this video is I want you to build a sensitivity to understand when your slide locks back. So once you've done that a number of different reps, you've gotten used to releasing the mag, doesn't matter which technique you use, now we can go to live fire. So I'm going to set up the cameras in a different way so that you can see my target, and we're going to pretend we're at our indoor range shooting rounds downrange. All right, now that you're comfortable with getting your empty mag out of your pistol and doing so quickly, now we're going to set up a live fire exercise and take this in a very slow approach. What you're going to do is you're going to get an empty mag, you are going to load, run around in that mag, and you're going to actually take a shot here. So it doesn't matter if you're doing this from a holster or compressed ready, we're going to send that forward. So essentially what we have is 1 round in the chamber and nothing in the actual magazine. So I take the shot and notice how the slide locks back. So when the slide locks back, we are automatically going to release the mag, just like we talked about. If you are not allowed to in your indoor range, or maybe this mag is going to fly all over the place, then all I want you to do is just flip the gun or go through the motion of hitting your mag release on your pistol. That is just to prevent this mag from flying all over the place. That is the general procedure of what we're going to work on. We are going to load a round in an empty mag, load it, send the slide forward. We're going to break the shot, and I want you to focus on the feel of the slide locking back. It's going to be a different recoil impulse. You're not going to feel the slide cycling forward. So you need to develop that sensitivity. If you haven't been shooting for a long time, this is where the challenge comes in, where if you do not shoot enough and you're not paying attention to that sensitivity of the slide locking back, then you won't know that your gun is out of ammo. So we're going to work on this. We're going to take that one shot. I'm going to talk this one through. I take my shot, the slide locks back. I feel that my slide has locked back, then I immediately go through my motions. Either one hand, 2 hands, whatever you prefer. This is just the first step. After you do this a couple of times and just getting used to the slide locking back with one shot, then you're going to load 2 rounds. And you're going to do the same thing. You do not need to shoot these 2 rounds quickly. You are just going to shoot them consecutively at a speed you're comfortable with, because the first round is going to have a different recoil impulse from the second round where you're going to go empty. So I'll talk this one through. I now have 2 rounds. I'm going to take 2 shots. That first shot, everything feels good. I take the second shot, and all of a sudden, I feel a different recoil impulse. So that is what I'm trying to focus on, that feeling there. Once I feel it, I drop the empty mag. So I would do that again, and little by little, you're increasing the time in between shots, or decreasing, I should say. You want to have a shorter split time. So again, I'm going to load 2 rounds. I'm going to insert it into my pistol, and I want to increase the speed just a tad. So no longer am I going to talk this through. I want to focus in on the feeling of my first shot. Second shot felt different, and now I go through the motions. As you do this, more and more, you will notice a big difference between the first shot where the slide cycles forward and the second where it locks back. You're going to do this over and over and over again until you feel comfortable. We're not really focused downrange. That's not what's important right now, and that's why I'm not showing you guys the target. What's important is what you're feeling in your hands. So now let's pretend I've graduated to 3 rounds. So I'm going to put 3 rounds in the mag here, and I'm going to do the same exact exercise here. I'm going to insert the mag here, and just so you're aware, every time I'm loading, unloading, these are all opportunities for you to practice fundamentals, weapons manipulations. If you watched the previous video, I talked about people loading their mag down here, not looking, keeping their head up. You want to raise up your gun. Do everything in this position right here. I'm going to insert, send the slide forward, keeping my muzzle down range. Now I'm going to take 3 shots, paying attention to the feel of the gun. So it's less about your accuracy right now. Although if you are going to be shooting a target, then you want to shoot accurately. So I would shoot 2 shots, or I should say 3 shots here. Then I feel a different recoil impulse. Finger goes off the trigger, and now I'm going to work on that motion. Just to reiterate, if you can't drop the mag, then don't drop the mag. Just go through the motions or use your support hand to touch the mag release if that's a technique that you like. Then the progression would be just to add more rounds. So now I go up to 4, and you're going to do the same exact thing. There's no magic to this, no craziness. It's not high speed or complex. I'm going to take those 4 shots until the mag, or I should say the slide, locks back. I feel it, finger off the trigger, and then I go through my motions. The next step would be to have somebody else randomly load your mags. And the idea is you don't know how many rounds are in your mag before you go dry. So you're going to have that sensitivity to the feel of your slide locking back. So let's just pretend I obviously know that 2 rounds are being put in here, but you go with a friend or just go into the range with some randomly loaded mags. If you do it overnight and then mix up the mags, you won't know which mag is which. So now I would grab one of those mags out of my bag, my range bag. Everything's the same here. I load it here. I don't really know how many rounds there are, so I'm going to pay attention to the feel of my slide as I'm taking these shots. And when I feel myself go dry, that's when I would go through my motion. So this is a very simple exercise that will develop your sensitivity to your slide locking back. Start at 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. You don't need to go crazy after that, loading 6 rounds or 7 rounds or anything like that. But what is more important is ultimately you're going to have someone load those random number of rounds in your magazine so that you don't really know what the count is. And then you have to react to that stimulus, your slide locking back. This is extremely simple. It's easy to learn, but you have to put the rounds down range and focus on it intentionally. If you don't shoot lots and lots and lots of rounds where it will just automatically start to happen because you shoot so much, then you have to intentionally focus on this. So this is just a very simple way to approach this. Even though it is dead simple and easy, this is something that is very important because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of people, a lot of newer shooters do not understand when their gun runs dry. So if you're one of the shooters who has trouble deciphering when you have run out of ammo, make sure to give these exercises a try. I know that if you intentionally do it, you're going to get much better, and that sensitivity is going to be heightened so that you can immediately go to a reload when needed. So that wraps up the 3rd video in our series. It was a simple and quick topic for today, but a very important one. Make sure to stay tuned for the rest of the videos as we begin to layer more complex skill sets that are going to help you improve your fundamentals overall. As always, if you like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, leave us some comments below, let us know what your thoughts are, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next time.